What's up guys, I'm Vatsal and I'm an artist, songwriter and music producer. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can mix pro sounding vocals really fast. So before diving into EQ compression and more, I want you to ask yourself a question. And that is, are your vocals ready for mixing? Are they tuned correctly? Are they time aligned? And stuff like this. Because most of the time people record vocals and then jump right into the mixing process. And the vocals never turn out to be great. Record your vocals right and edit them first before diving into the mixing process. So now I'm assuming that you have recorded your vocals really well, you have tuned them, time aligned them, and basically have done your editing process. It's finally the time to mix the vocals. So let's dive into the DAW and let's see how it's done. So this is a song I released a while ago and it's called You Don't Belong to Me. I would highly recommend you to check it out. And by the way, I'm going to be giving all the links in the description in case you need them. So yeah, let's listen to the vocals raw without any effects on them.
Wanna see you cause it's really been a while. You've been inviting, crying for everything we had. And I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you don't love me. But tell me, are you sure inside that you don't belong to me?
Alright, so this is a vocal I recorded in my bedroom with AKG P120, fairly inexpensive mic. I did what I could to minimize the reflection in the room and it turned out pretty well. So yeah, let's start with the mixing. So the first plugin that I'm going to be using on my vocals is a compressor. And for this, I'm going to be using Fetish by Analog Obsession. Amazing plugin. Use it a lot on most of my vocals, I can say that. Fastest release, medium-ish, fast attack, and let's drive the compressor. And by the way, I'm gonna be doing all of this while music playing in the background because we want our vocals to sit on top of it and does not feel like a karaoke, right? So let's do it. Nice. Now what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna add another compressor on top of it, and for this I'm gonna be using Avox by Waves. Again, one of my favorites. I use it all the time. And with this compressor I'm going for 3 to 4 dB of gain reduction. So let's do it. So yeah, let's gain match the signal again. Now as you can see, the vocals are a lot more present in the mix and a lot more upfront. Now what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be adding an EQ before all of these compressors. And for that, I'm going to be using my favorite 9000J console. This is a hell of a plugin. I use it all the time. So with this EQ, I'm going to be shaping the sound of my vocal to fit better in the mix. And for that, I'm going to be adding some top end around 8K. And let's listen to it first. So I've added around 6 to 7 dBs at 8K, and then I'm going to be adding around 4 to 5K for some intelligibility in the vocals.
Crying,
So I've added around 4.5 dBs at around 4.3K. So now I'm gonna be boosting around 1 to 3K to make the vocals pop out of the mix a little bit.
Burning, crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you don't love me, but tell me, are you sure inside that you don't belong to me? Burning, crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you don't love me, but tell me, are you sure inside that you don't belong to me?
So I have added around 1.3 dBs at 1.3K. So now, since we have added a lot of compression in the vocals, there is a lot of woofiness and some kind of low end problems in the vocals, and we are going to be clearing it simply with the high pass filter.
Burning, crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a shelf, a low shelf around 200 Hertz, and I'm just going to be dipping around 1 to 2 dBs just to clear the low end of the vocals out, just a little bit.
Burning, crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you don't love me, but tell me, are you sure inside that you don't belong to me?
So with this shelf filter, I've just attenuated around 1 dB. And now listen to the vocals with or without the EQ.
Burning, crying for everything we had, and I burning, crying for everything we had.
Since we have added a lot of compression, again, I'm saying this, we have a problem. The S's are louder and harsh, and we want to control them, not finish them, but control them. So we'll control them using a de-esser, and for this I'm going to be using this one right here. It's called Sibilance by Waves, and I usually use its preset called Bright Pop. And now I'm going to be adjusting the de-esser according to the vocals.
Burning, crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all.
You can also monitor them. So this is what we are taking away from the vocals.
Burning, crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you don't.
These nasty high-end frequencies we are taking away from the vocals. All right, it's natural. We don't want our EQ compression or de-esser to make vocals hamper in a way that they sound really off, or they do not sound natural. We don't want to do that. So now the next plugin I'm going to be using is a saturator, because the vocals are recorded on a fairly inexpensive mic. They lack a little bit of character, and to add that character to it, I'm going to be adding a saturation plugin, and I use this one a lot. It's called Softube Saturation Knob. It's a free plugin. Go get it. Now I'm going to be adding subtly. We don't want to make the vocal sound like we have added a distortion, ton of distortion on it. We just want the vocals to sound a little oomphy, a little full. And for that, we are going to be adding the saturation. So let's listen to the vocals while I add the saturation.
Burning, crying for everything we had.
So somewhere around 1.6 feels really, really nice, really better. Now, the last plugin which I'm gonna be using is a vocal limiter. And I use this one all the time. It's Vocal Limiter by WA Productions. Simple limiter. I use the medium fast preset, and we are using the vocal limiter just to tame those really fast peaks in the vocals, and just to control them and make them sound cohesive. Now let's listen to it while I engage it.
Crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you.
So we are using the limiter this way to catch those really fast peaks in the vocals, and that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna be adding a reverb just for the sake of the tutorial and completing the video. I'm gonna be adding something like Wetter by Waves, simple one knob plugin. It's a reverb delay combination, and let's listen to the vocals one.
Crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you don't love me. But tell me, are you sure inside that you don't belong to me?
Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be bypassing all the plugins, and I'm gonna be playing the track and engaging the plugins midway around. So let's see what happened to the vocals without the plugins and with the plugins on.
Crying for everything we had, and I was hiding all of this inside. You were lying, trying to convince yourself that you don't love me. But tell me, are you sure inside that you don't belong to me?
So there you have it. That's pretty much how I mix my vocals. And in 99.99% of use cases, this vocal chain works. It just works. And one more thing, you guys have seen that I've not done this. Notching and dipping the frequencies. I have done that for a long time, but I find that whenever I cut frequencies out of the vocals and resonances out of the vocals, it just takes some magic away from the vocals. So I try not to do it unless I have to do it. So a bonus tip that I would give you for vocals and for every instrument in your mix, it's try to feel what the plugins are doing. I've seen a lot of people just doing the things, doing the moves, doing the EQ compression stuff for the sake of it. They're not even listening and not feeling, because feeling is the most important thing when it comes to music. If it feels right, it is right. So yeah, try to mix with some feelings. Crank the plugins and then try to figure out that sweet spot, a spot where the plugin sounds really beautiful. That feels really nice. That would make a huge difference in your mixing and even in your mastering process. Now do drop a comment in the comment section down below if you want more content like this. And also if yes, then do let me know what type of videos would you like to see on my channel. Also hit the like button if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing if you do not want to miss any content that I'm gonna be posting on the channel. And I'll see you next time. Peace.